Good evening, everyone. We're going to be doing a tier list of all the tier 10s in watts. I've always wanted to do this, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. I'll try to be as unbiased as possible with this, though I'm sure there'll be some exceptions, and I'll definitely make it clear if there are any kind of exceptions to that, or if there's tanks I have a preference for, and why. So to start off, I guess we're going to do the China tanks first. The 121. Honestly, this tank is really good. I have a lot of fun with it. Also, I'm going to put the tanks from left to right. So if you're at the top of A, it means you're better than the one next to it. Obviously, S to F. So for me, this tank is probably an A tier. A lot of DPM, it's very nimble. The thing is, it doesn't have much gun depression, and there's a lot more meta tanks. So really, in actuality, I think it's a B tier tank. But B tier is very solid. I mean, I think B tier, you can go play a game, um, and you can expect, like 4,000 plus damage if you're, a good player, right? And if not, it depends what your standard is, right? But this tank is really capable. You've got high alpha, better gun than the 430U. You're pretty shifty, you're pretty fast, really, really good DPM. I think that's holding you back is kind of gun depression. You don't have much hull armor. You can side scrape though. I think this tank is really good. It's just not many people play it, but it's a good tank. The 113. This tank used to be, Clan Wars tank. It has huge problems with the lower plate and the ammo rack in the lower plate. Now it's not very meta at all. For me, it would have been before. It would have been, probably A tier, something like that. It was super fast, had lots of HP. I don't think it's as good as the 121 anymore. I would probably put it in C tier. The gun handling is just way more derpy than the 121. It's bigger, it's clumsier. The armor doesn't work as well. You can still have good games in it though. I want to like this tank, and I used to love it. I really liked the 3 mark on this tank, but I just don't think it's got it anymore. 121B, man, I want to put it in A tier. This tank's gun is so good. It's snappy, really has good DPM, very accurate. It's got 350 heat pen. I think this tank is excellent. For me, it's probably an A tier tank just because I really like the gameplay. But I think for most people, it's a B tier tank. I don't know. I would tie it with the 121. This one's maybe better for brawling. This one's better for mid-range and long-range sniping. I'm gonna put it a bit ahead because I like it more, but that's just down to the gun and the pen. This thing is tragic, man. I mean, in terms of it's just a D tier light tank because the Manticore and the EBR, you already know they're gonna go up here. I'm not gonna put an F tier because it's still capable, but it's you may as well be playing a medium tank. Don't buy the WZ. Uh, Now we got the WZ-113. This thing is honestly insane. As far as tank destroyers go, it can play super aggressive, has tons of HP, massive 395 heat pen, good DPM, good mobility, good armor on the superstructure even. Just careful with the little cheeks on the side. But this tank is amazing. And as far as tank destroyers go, it's probably like S tier among tank destroyers, but I'll put it in A tier because this tank is incredible. Obviously, I prefer tanks like the 121B, right? But I'm trying to make this as objective as possible. Um, the WZ-115A. This tank is better than 113. I don't think it's probably tied with these mediums. It's a good tank. I think heavies are probably more meta than mediums at the moment. I'll put it above them, but this is really subjective. It's fast. It's got good heat pen. It's amongst heavies, it's lower, right? But I think in general, it's a decent tank still. It's pretty strong. You can farm really well in it. I'll put it in B tier for me. This is the Clan Wars tank, the WZ something 111. Who knows? I forget what it's called. It's like a fake tank. This thing has bad DPM. It's very sluggish. The gun handling is horrible. The armor is terrible. I mean, sorry, the armor is good, but the tank itself is atrocious. Um, I would put it in D tier to be frank. I don't think it's a very fun tank. I mean, you can farm in it. I'll put it in C tier for now because obviously it's not as bad as the Wheezy, poor Wheezy. Um, but it's not a good tank, guys. Don't bother with it. This tank is interesting because it can be very frustrating, but theoretically it can get a lot of work done. I would probably put it behind these mediums. I like it more than the Well, I like the 5A more than this. I like the mediums more than this. But this tank can get a lot done because of the boosters and the alpha. And alpha is really good in this game. You know, now alpha is pretty meta. So I'd put it in B tier. The Cupolas are terrible though, so it's in that sense it's kind of like a C tier tank. But you can get really good games in it, so I'll put it at in B tier here. The WZ or the I don't know what this is called, the 114 SP is I think it's the WZ 114 SP SP2. I'm gonna put this in C tier. This tank is just I don't really see the point. You know, you're massive, you're giant and bulky, you have no armor. 650 alpha isn't that great. The gun is accurate, but it's also not even that good. So I'm just gonna put it in C tier because I don't really see the point of this tank. This tank goes into F tier. You'd say it's the same as this is the 113 Beijing Opera. It's just the 113 but for bonds, but you can never change the camo, and the camo looks really ugly. And also, why would you buy a 113 for 15,000 bonds? Don't buy this, you're a muppet. This is also this is the 5A, but it's for gold. It's a cool camo, but again, it's the same as this. These copy tanks, I'm just gonna put them down here, unless you can get them for free. I'm just gonna put them here because you know there's no point. I don't know why you would spend money on this. Obviously this one is you I this one at least looks cool, quote unquote, but this is just a complete waste. So we'll just put these down here. The TVP, I don't like the TVP. It can be a lot of fun, but I think it doesn't do well in this meta. I think it's really hard to play. I think if you're a good player, you can make it work quite well, but it's hard. It's a lot of work. This tank is a lot of work. It's probably BC tier, but I don't think it's part. I don't think it's a good tank for the current meta of what. I'm gonna put it in C tier. I just don't think this tank has held up well over the years. The reason being the alpha is quite low, and even though you have equipment to make the gun work better than it used to, um, it's still, you know, it's 320 alpha. It's only a 1200 burst. Granted, it is a quick burst, but the gun handling and the pen just makes it, you know, it makes it hard to play, right? The bat chat having a better profile. Also, this thing is very big. The bat chat has a better profile and it has more alpha. So even though it takes you longer to get the damage out, the bat chat is much more consistent, I find, and trades a lot better than this tank. So I would put this thing in C tier. I don't think the TVP is held up well in the meta. You have to think of this meta as something that's, you know, fast heavies. The meta is now fast heavies, hull down heavies, and the TVP just can't trade against people that are playing well. It needs openings, it needs open maps, it needs late game situations, and there's less and less of those as the game progresses nowadays. So yeah, the VZ. I still think the VZ is better than all these tanks. I would still put the VZ in A tier. The double shot is tons of fun. The single shot might even be more competitive. I don't think it's the, the WZ is so strong. The WTTD is so strong. I don't think the VZ can kind of surpass it. But the VZ is very good. It's a lot of fun. It's for me it's an A tier tank. You could maybe put it at the top of B tier, but I'll put it in A tier for now. I might move things around a little bit. The Tessac, we can put it in D tier. It's really good at clipping ship burns with HE, and that's pretty much it. I think Wargaming really underestimated um, the importance of doing damage in a short amount of time, and it takes too long for this tank to do damage. And I know you think, oh, Showtime, that's ridiculous. You know, it can clip you for 1,000 or whatever. It's so much more valuable to be able to shoot something for 390 from 400 meters in an EBR and run away really quickly before they can even see you, whereas this thing has to sit out in the open and clip. And that's really damaging for this tank. I'm not saying it's not fun. It can be like A tier, S tier fun, but competitive, it's not very competitive. Maybe some niche situations in the clan wars or something, but it's this tank isn't good for randoms in my opinion. This thing, oh my god, this thing is very good. I mean, it's subjective, right? You could even put it in S tier for triangles. The DBV having 800 alpha, having a a rotatable turret, it's excellent. It's a really good tank. It's better than the Grill 15. Um, much better than the Grill 15. This tank is a menace. The 800 alpha is just brutal. So yeah, I would, and it's got camo. It's relatively fast, and the fully rotatable turret with the 800 alpha, with the good accuracy. The pen isn't very good, but it's good enough. This tank is very very good. ABR S tier. This tank is so fun, hard to learn, hard to master, but once you get it, this tank will give you incredible games. it'll dominate matches. You can create spaces, you can save games. You can outplay all light tanks except Manticore, though you can outplay the Manticore as well. It just depends on the situation, the map, and the player. But this tank is S tier. Despite the nerfs, the EBR is incredible fun. Um, I think people have adapted to the meta a bit. I think people still view it as toxic. I think it is toxic, but I think the shift has been made. What's done is done. The EBR is here to stay, and it's a very good tank. 50B. Um, this is S tier for this is a fan favorite for some people. In the meta, I don't think it's S tier anymore, but the 50B will always have a place in clan wars and skirmishes, and in the hearts of people. So I'm gonna put it A tier. I think the 50B's gun is incredible. I think the late game carry potential is really good. The 50B is a menace, man. It depends if you VZ, you can put it with the VZ or not. For me, it's an A tier tank. This is subjective. I think for a lot of people, it's a B tier tank for players that aren't as good. It's probably a C tier tank because it's really hard to play. But for me, I think it's an A tier tank. So I'm putting it in A tier. I really like the MX50B. Batchat, again, in my heart, this thing is Omega S tier. Love the Batchat. But I think it's probably a B tier tank. The buffs are great for the Batchat. Um, Maybe behind the it's harder to play than these tanks, right? So I have to kind of evaluate whether it's I'm just going to put it kind of here in B tier. Take this with a grain of salt. The order of these tanks, more or less, it's a B tier tank. I think it can do really well. It's amazing in late game situations. It's not as good as the 50B because for competitive randoms because of it doesn't have the armor the 50B does on the hull. It doesn't have the alpha. It unloads a little slower. The APCR premium ammo on the 50B makes it very strong, whereas this thing has like the heat, which is a little more clumsy, but still very good. So I would put it in B tier. I think the Batchat is a very solid tank. Everything in B tier is totally playable and can be really good. Um, but A tier is just super solid, and S tier is just you know extra. Did I move this around? I think that's fine. Okay. We don't talk about that. I think this is the fifth. What is this? The Foch B. Foch B is amazing, man. Foch B is an A tier tank. This thing's clip potential is ridiculous. You just need to be careful with your HP. You need to be careful with how you peak, but this thing is absurd. And with the new equipment for the track HP, yeah, this thing is ridiculous. I'm putting it in A tier. Foch 155, we can put it in C tier. This tank is not very good. You could put it in D tier if you want. Um, but it's fun. The 750 Alpha is fun. 750 DPM meme is not true. You can definitely connect more than one shot per clip, but it's definitely not a competitive tank. But it can be fun tank. I don't know. I don't think it's a waste of bonds. If you want to pick it up, if you pick up the Foch B, I mean the Foch 155, you'll have fun with it. Why not? Okay, 30B. I hate this tank. I hate this tank. The reason being that the APCR has low pen. The Cupola is massive. The GPM is very good, but the heat rounds are the killing factor for this tank. The heat rounds are just no bueno. They have no pen, they have no shell velocity, so it's really hard to make bad heat rounds work, right? That's the problem with the 30B. This thing is really solid. For me, it's better than all these other tanks. Um, Great alpha, decent gun handling, not much HP, not very fast, but the alpha is really good. The profile is good. You can bait a lot of shots. I like this thing a lot. You could put it maybe behind the 5A or not. I think for me, it's very good. I really enjoy the what's it called? The AMX M454, I think. Yeah, very good. AMX 15105. Yeah, it's a good light tank. Put in B tier. Solid light tank, like a mini Batchat. Not as good as the Batchat, but got a good clip. Grill 15. I know I have a friend that loves this thing. It's like super S tier for him. I wouldn't put it there. I think it's a maybe top of C tier tank, maybe bottom of B tier. It's a decent tank. You can make it work. Um, just not the best for the meta at the moment. I'll put it at the top of C tier. It's okay. Really accurate gun. Really nimble. This is amazing in Onslaught, but it's not very good in randoms. I mean, it's fine in randoms. I'll put it in. I'll put it in C tier as well. It's okay in randoms. The gun is decent. The camo's okay. I'll just put it there. Panzer 7, honestly a really solid tank as well. I'll put it next to the AMX. Really good alpha. You always get penned. There's always a place to pen you because you've got the shoulders and lower plate, and also a little spot in the mantlet. It's been made smaller, but it's got really good alpha, lots of HP. It's a heavy tank and a heavy tank meta. Granted, it's a slow heavy tank, but still very good. So I would put it in B tier. And again, these can all be switched up. This isn't in a particular order. I've decided that it's too subjective for that, so you can switch these up, but more or less where they should go. Mouse. Honestly, mouse is A tier for me. I think the mouse is excellent. It's, you can just tank games in this. You can farm so much. Uh, if you're fighting a good player, they will pen you, they will farm you, but you have so much HP that if you play well, you'll be farming as well. So yeah, the mouse, there's no excuses with the mouse. You can pretty much do something in every situation. It's a little bit inflexible, but it's so good at what it does that if you're a good player playing it, you'll get some value out of the game no matter what, unless it's a complete steamroll and you're too slow to do anything. E100 is honestly really good now. Maybe not the most meta tank, but I would put it, I would put it here. It's you can get penned, here up top, lower plate obviously, but you can bait heat rounds with the side skirts. The turret is so strong now, guys. The turret of the E100 is so ridiculous. The buffs they've made were, I mean, people kept complaining about the turret. I complained about the turret too, but the turret is insane now, guys. I mean, I don't know if people remember how bad the turret was in the E100. The E100 has never been stronger. You have the 560 DPM gun. I like to run the 750 Alpha, but E100 very strong, very strong. Um, okay, Jagdpanzer 100 probably a B tier tank. I don't like it that much. Just find it very inflexible. Yeah, it's a B tier tank. It's very good at what it does. It nukes people. Some people would probably put it higher, but it's not very flexible, let's be honest, and a good player will farm you in it. But yeah, it's good. I think E50M is probably an A tier tank. It's very good. It's fast, lots of HP, good gun. Um, I don't have that great of a time with E50M. I don't know why. Just not my style, but it's certainly a very good vehicle. We'll put it in. We can put it in A tier. Um, yeah, or it could be top of B tier, but it's subjective. Leo 1. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, Leo 1 is incredible. This tank is ridiculous. Amazing alpha, amazing gun, most accurate tank in the game besides the Sturf, but no one wants to play a cheese wedge anyway. Love the Leo. Leo is S tier 100%. BKK, probably an S tier tank. Um, it's just got such a beefy gun. You can farm in it. Just, you know, better than the Panzer 7 because of the alpha and it's got slightly better armor profile. So, maybe it's not actually like an S tier tank because it gets played by clan wars, people that boost it. But the VKK just has such a presence. You see a VKK in a match and he's normally going to be a farm. So I'll put it in. I don't know if it's truly S tier, but I will put it in S tier because it's got that vibe. VKK is very good. This thing is, I don't know, this thing is fine. It's mediocre. It's like a B tier tank. It's fast, good turret. Um, but yeah, we'll just put it over there. The waffle, I'm still mad about how they added this back in. Not many people can get it. Um, in the meta itself, if I'm not being critical of the price and the kind of the drama behind this tank, I don't know. It's probably C tier. I mean, you get farmed in it. We can just put it here. You can farm in it. People will farm you. Somewhere in C tier. It's decent. It could be a B tier tank as well. But we'll put it in C tier because it's probably very consistent. Even though good players will farm in it 100%, you will also be farmed. So I'll just put it in C tier. It's fine. It's not what it used to be, guys. So don't worry about kind of missing out on the waffle. But it can obviously do S tier damage. I mean, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying in general, it's not the most flexible for this meta. Everyone has intuition. You'll get nuked in this tank, so I'll put it over there. They neutered this tank. This tank used to be so good, guys. Used to be so good. It's probably a D tier tank. It's obviously better than these things, just because I don't like these tanks. But this tank got nerfed, man. This tank's DPM is atrocious. It's really sad. Um, I'd probably have more fun playing this than anything else in the C tier, but I think the Progetto is a D tier tank. It used to be S tier. This tank used to be S tier. Wargaming nerfed it. The Rhino, no DPM, man. no DPM. The Alpha is the only saving grace. You can clip out for 1500, but it takes a while. But this tank still has no armor really. The turret a little bit, but you can pen the triangle on the gun. I don't think this tank is very good. The Kara is actually a decent tank. I'll put it in B tier. Decent clip, pretty fast. Armor is mediocre, but it's a good tank. Kara's a good tank. Mino it's probably an A tier tank. But I don't like the gun handling. I don't like this tank. I think it's silly. Um, when it got added in, I guess it was better because you couldn't pen the cupola. So the gun is better now. They buffed the gun. They nerfed the cupolas. I'll put it in B tier because I kind of have to put it in B tier. But and you should definitely play this tank if you're kind of getting to learn the game. It's a very solid tank, 100%. But I it's not my favorite, so I'm putting it in B. This is a mix of. It's very hard um, to be objective here. There's definitely some. This list is definitely somewhat subjective, guys. So don't be too upset, okay? If your favorite tank gets put low. Quite controversial to make this video at the start of start of my channel, but hey, guys, it is what it is. STB, honestly, for me, this is an A tier tank. I really like the STB. I love the gun depression. It's probably a B tier tank though. The gun handling can be made a lot better by putting purple equipment. I think purple equipment is probably mandatory on this. A purple V-stab, purple rammer, and then maybe purple vents makes this tank gun really good. And it's got crazy DPM. So I like the STB a lot. It takes a while to learn, I would say, but I think it's still a B tier tank. Used to be probably A tier to an extent. Maybe is for some people as well. Like I would put it above the E50M personally, but it's probably a B tier tank. E50M might be B tier, to be honest with you. Ah, I'm gonna put E50M B tier, guys. Sorry, it's just not my favorite. And these tanks are pretty brutal, so we'll put it there. Type 5 heavy. I mean, obviously, guys, come on. No, the Type 5 heavy is probably a D tier tank, but honestly, you can farm in it, and I like it better than all these other tanks, so I'm gonna put it in C tier. It's obviously is a giant XP pinata, but the gun is very good. Um, So yeah, we're gonna put it in C tier because I actually like the Type 5. Hori, oh, this used to be S tier. It's probably still S tier. I'm gonna put it in A tier. I think this tank is excellent. Super good gun, super nimble, decent armor, really good profile even when you're hulled down because it's hard to hit this. Just these little corners. And the AP gun, the normalization of that AP and that high pen AP is so good. This tank is A tier 100%, even after the nerfs. I don't know what this is. What is this? I'm putting it there. Sorry guys, not sure what that is. 60 TP used to be S tier, now it's also A tier. Again, in no particular order. 60 TP is still very strong, lots of HP, high alpha. Gun handling is mediocre, but this tank will always have a place in Clan Wars with that high alpha and that good profile. Armor is unreliable, but very trolly, so it's a good tank. CS63 is probably an S tier tank for Clan Wars. Um, and in general, for me, it's an A tier tank. I don't think it's as consistent as Leo, but it's a very good tank. A little more, kind of like a Leo with less alpha, a much worse gun, but very fast. It can get into great positions. It can farm a lot of damage, great DPM. CS is a good tank, just not my cup of tea. Let's get Vika. I hate the gun arc on this. Good alpha, good DPM if you're close, but the gun arc makes this thing a pain to play. You might say, oh no, I swear to God, it's good. Man, as soon as you play this thing, you'll know what I mean. The gun arc combined with the low caliber of the shells means you get tons of you just get tons of ricochets with this gun, man. Um, and also the damage drop off over range just makes it a pain to play on some maps. So I'm putting this in C tier. For some people it might be A tier, for some people it's D tier. I'm putting it in C tier. Not my cup of tea. This thing is technically better. This is a B tier tank, the Sturv. It could even be an A tier tank, the Sturv. This thing can be so toxic and farm so much. For me, it's a B tier tank. I'm not a fan, really. I mean, it's obviously very good. You can have tons of fun in this thing. The gun is incredible. In Clan Wars, you have one Sturv on some maps, farms 6, 7k damage. But I think overall, it's probably, a B tier tank. And randoms can be somewhat inflexible. Um, but yeah, it depends on the player. But it's very strong. This thing can be so strong, guys. Okay, Kronwagen. This tank is B tier, C tier. I think after the nerfs, it's C tier. You don't really see them too much. It's just kind of an awkward reload. The heat isn't very good. The gun handling is terrible. It's not as fast. This tank used to be S tier, obviously, but now I would put it in C tier or B tier, to be honest with you. Um, Maybe I'll just put it top of C tier. But yeah, I don't like the Kron anymore, guys. I don't think the Kron is that good. You don't really see them anymore, and the reason is because the gun makes it a pain to play. Hughes is good. Hughes is a good tank. I'll put it in B tier. Good profile, decent gun. You can farm a lot. You just need to be a little patient with it, but yeah, this tank is good. It's a good tank. Manti is obviously S tier for what it does. I mean, it's not the EBR, so you know what I'll do is I'll put it at the top of A tier, but it, it's technically the best light tank in the game. So I'll put it in S tier because it's the best in class. That's kind of how I'm gonna do it. So these tanks are all kind of the pinnacle of what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? So I'll put the Manticore in S tier. Um, this thing can farm, but it's not good. But it's definitely a great gun, so I'm gonna put it in C tier. I like it more than anything else here. Really good gun, man, and the gun will save it. The gun will make sure you farm. We put this here. I still don't know what this tank is. The Death Star. We'll put it in C tier because it actually has armor. This thing was a lot of fun to 3 mark actually. Kind of infuriating, but hilarious. This thing is just worse than the Death Star, even though you have a better turret. The HE-able turret, man, is this thing is such a pain to play. We'll put it in D tier. Sente X. Ah, some people put it in A tier. I used to be A tier for me. Now it's probably like top of B tier. Really, really good tank, guys. I mean, the Sente X is excellent. It's probably an A tier tank to be honest, but it's a bit big. It's definitely not a Leo. It's not a CS either, so we'll put it in B tier. But the Sente X is A tier worthy to an extent. So we'll put it in B tier. Very good tank. B tier is still really, really good. I have to emphasize that. B tier is very good, very competitive still. Okay. S-Conk. I guess it's still B tier, I suppose, but it's just kind of boring. They kind of nerfed it, and it's not as fun anymore. You may as well play the E5. You know what I mean? E5 will go into A tier 100%. This thing used to be S tier. This thing used to be S tier. But for randoms at least. Clan Wars, no, because it's too slow. But we'll put it in B tier. Still a very solid tank, solid pick. Badger. Badger is C tier for me. It's too inflexible. It could be a B tier for some people. It's probably better than all these tanks. It can farm an unbelievable amount of damage, but for me it's a C tier tank. It's just slow. The armor isn't that great. Really, it always seems to get outplayed. I don't know. I don't think the Badger is that great of a vehicle, to be honest. The Tortoise is S tier for its tier, but the Badger, no. You could put it in B tier if you want to. It's definitely better than these tanks. We'll put it in B tier, but it's fine. Chieftain, the Chieftain is ironically it's still an A tier tank. I mean the DPM is bad now, and it's slower than a 260. The 260 has comparable DPM, but because this thing is slower, it's just not as good. But the turret is still ridiculous, guys. People are not complaining about the chieftain anymore because no one's playing it. But the moment you actually start fighting a good chieftain player again, you get PTSD. This thing is still ridiculous in terms of the hull sloping when it's hull down and the turret and hitting the cupola. The pen nerf isn't that big of a deal. It was just the DPM and the speed nerf, but this thing is still technically A tier. Um, so I'm gonna leave it up there in A tier. It's still very good tank. Just don't see them that much. Concept, they need to buff this thing. This thing is just tragic. It's just a C tier tank. It's probably a D tier tank. Wow, I feel so self-conscious now that I'm making a tier list, but I don't know why I can't switch it. Yeah, concept. This thing is just bad. It's huge. The gun is good, but that's the only thing that's good about it. I don't know why they don't give it more alpha or just increase the DPM. I would just give it like 560 alpha or something. Make it really unique. Would be pretty fun. Would be like a high alpha version of the leopard with bad camo. This thing is definitely. I don't like it because I haven't played it too much. It's definitely A tier. Some people might put it in S tier, but this thing is brutal. I'll put it here. I'll put it after these tanks. Yeah, this tank is disgusting. I need to play it a bit, but I know the can opener is very good. Sorry, I haven't really been saying the names of the tanks. Okay, what do we have? The Vickers Mark III. It's not as good as the Cent AX. It's just a, I'd say it's a B tier tank. Really good DPM, really fast. Definitely not a leopard. It's just a B tier tank, but you can farm a lot of damage in it. It's very flexible. So yeah, I'll put it here, close to the E50M. No, it's a good tank. Solid. Figures Mark III. Sheridan. I'm sorry, Sheridan. This tank is just don't even go near it. This thing is so bad. It's sad. Yeah, don't bother. I'm 48. It's just too slow to go into. I mean, it's a B tier tank really, but it just doesn't have the armor of the 50. It doesn't have the gun depression of the DPM of the STB, the speed of the Vickers. It could be a B tier tank. I'll put it in B tier because it's better than these tanks, but it's just not special. The M48 just isn't special anymore. No one really plays it. It's either like top of C tier, bottom of B tier. But it's a balanced tank. It's fine. It doesn't mean anything should be changed. It's not a special tank. This goes in F tier, obviously the T92. T57, excellent vehicle. I actually need to 3-mark mine. I'm working on it, and then I took a huge hiatus from the game. But the T57 is brutal, guys. This tank is scary when it's unloading on you. Um, yeah, for me, I used to not like it that much, but then I realized how strong it was. Yeah, this tank is crazy in brawls. This tank is just crazy in brawls. So yeah, we'll put it in A tier. Um, and keep in mind, these can switch up and down for people. I mean, all these, if you have a preference here, some of these tanks might go up, some of these tanks might go down, just the way it is. It's my list. E5 for me is A tier. Almost S tier for me, but I'll put it in A tier. Just the S-Conk, but faster, got the Cupola weak spot. S-Conk still has the Cupola weak spot with heat, more high pen AP. But this tank just has way more DPM now than the S-Conk. A really bouncy hull, better for brawling. You can side scrape. I did a video on it. You can check it out. E5 is T125 is very, very good. Now we've got the E4. This tank is not very good. It can still get things done, but it's just not very good. It's a C tier tank, guys. Yeah, good alpha, really good APCR pen, but it's not that competitive. I think in Onslaught it can be quite good, but I haven't played it there, so I'm not too sure. But it's solid. It can be fun, but it's nothing special, nothing remarkable. So yeah, E3 is definitely a B tier tank. It's slow, that's why I'm not putting it at any higher. It's not very flexible. It can be A tier in Clan Wars sometimes, depending on what you're doing. It definitely used to be an A tier tank, got nerfed a little bit. Doesn't mean it knocks it down to B tier, but it's just not very flexible, guys. So I'm not going to put it any higher. I just don't feel like it. And I don't know, it's 375 PC burn. Definitely a really good tank. I mean, definitely some people's favorites, right? It's almost unpennable, pretty much unpennable hull down. But for me, it's a B tier tank. I think its lack of flexibility puts it there. M60 is actually very good. I mean, this thing is it's A tier, not for Clan Wars, guys, not for Clan Wars, but this tank is excellent. Top of B tier because it has the Cupola and no armor. Really, really good. I think the Centex is maybe more noob friendly, better turret, better profile, but this thing's gun is incredible. We'll put it in B tier. T95E6. Really good DPM. Like, I mean, this thing has like A tier DPM. Cupola makes it not that great, but no one sees this tank ever. So honestly, for me, it's a B tier tank. Really good alpha, 400 alpha, which is unique to mediums. Well, no, I guess the Caro is 400, but it's yeah, this thing is fine. I'll put it in B tier because I think the alpha damage and the DPM makes it really unique. People aren't used to seeing it. It's a good tank. Cupola is massive. Gun can be derpy. Yeah, for me, it's a B tier tank. M5Y after the buff is very good. I don't know if it's A tier. No, the hull doesn't make it A tier. The hull keeps it from being A tier. But it's a B tier tank. Very solid tank. And when you're hull down, hard to hit the weak spot. Really good alpha now, really good DPM, good gun. But it's nowhere near the E5 because of the hull. Guys, the hull makes all the difference. This thing has no hull armor. Okay, Object 260 is obviously S tier. This thing hasn't been nerfed. It's incredible with the equipment. This thing is extremely good. Great gun. Um, and very, very fast. Decent armor. This thing is capable of incredible games. The Object 260 is definitely S tier. If you don't have it from the marathon, um, do the missions, guys. Do your missions. Get this thing. This thing is a joy to play. Really excellent tank. T22, this thing is F tier, guys, or D tier. This thing has no DPM, no gun handling. The hull is cheese. The only gimmick it has is the side armor, So if you think this thing is good and you want to spend, 30, 40, 50 million credits on it next time it goes on sale, don't buy the T22. Don't buy the T22. It's no good, guys. This thing is terrible. It's terrible. And the gun mantlet is only 200 millimeters. This thing is cheese. You get a couple games where you laugh because people shoot your side, and that's the only thing it can do. It has no DPM, no gun handling, no armor. Uh, don't get the T22. I'll do a video on it, but it's terrible, guys. This thing is no good. It looks cool though. T100. That's a good light tank. I'm gonna put it next to This is not an order, by the way. Please. Last time I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's a really good light tank. It's not the Metacore. It's not the EBR, nowhere near. But it's very good. Probably better than the AMX really. But at spotting at least, maybe not for damage. But T100's a very solid tank. You just don't see it because of how dominant these two tanks are. These two tanks just kind of make other light tanks obsolete. K91 after the buffs is actually very good. It's a B tier tank for sure. Maybe A tier for some people, but not really because of the alpha. Alpha's too low and no armor, which holds it back in this meta. Um, so yeah, I'll put it in B tier. That's a good tank. It's a fun tank. Object 705A, B tier as well. Very good at what it does in terms of armor. Gun holds it back. But yeah, it's good. It's a good tank. Okay, what do we have left? 430U. I said I like the 121B and the 121 more than it. 430U, great armor, decent gun. I'll put it in B tier. Can brawl, it can play. These tanks are all very good. Just these tanks are all so much better. Yeah, it's a decent tank, guys. The 430U is still decent. Used to be OP, but well, not OP, but it used to be quite broken because the cupolas, you just couldn't bend them. Now you can bend the cupolas, and the 430U isn't a big deal to deal with anymore. Though it can still brawl really well. Side armor is super troll, frontal hull is super troll, turret face is obviously unpennable. Yeah, it's a very strong tank. 268 Virgin 4, I don't like this thing. When you rock back and forth, you get penned in the upper part, lower part. It's definitely better than these tanks theoretically. We'll put it in B tier, but honestly, for fun, the 268 can go down to C. Sometimes it's S tier fun, and sometimes it's just like D tier fun, because it either dies or it doesn't die depending on how, the RNG goes in terms of where the shells are hitting your upper plate and lower plate, and your cupola. So it's very inconsistent armor. It takes tons of module damage. It's a bit sluggish now. The gun handling is terrible, so we'll put it in B tier. Can be super fun, can be really rough to play. Yeah, it's an okay tank. You'll do well in it, but it can be frustrating. 277, definitely an A tier tank. It's fast, good gun, very meta in terms of it doesn't have the gun depression, the only thing holding it back, but um, super fast, troll side armor, troll turret, got a little cupola there, but very, very good. And unlike something like the M5Y, the hull will troll sometimes, right? So we'll put it in A tier. Doesn't have the damage dealing capabilities of these tanks, but it's still very good, very good. And it'll be used in Clan Wars now more than like a Chieftain, for example. So this tank in Clan Wars will be used once your 277, once your Object 216 and your IS-7 are dead, or alongside those tanks. This tank is super solid to get. I'll do a Clan Wars ranking video later, so people know what's important to bring for that and what to grind for. But yeah, 277 A tier for sure. Object 279. Honestly, for me, this is a B tier tank. I think this thing is super overrated. I know this is super controversial. I know it can be S tier sometimes. We could put it in A tier, and I'll probably put it in A tier just because when it's played well, and it often is played well, um, it's very good theoretically. But I find it's very inflexible, and I don't like the way the armor scheme works. You need to play in a certain way. uh, you're very predictable, in a 279. Either you're farming it or you can't farm him, but he's sitting in one spot. So it can be S tier. But sometimes, if you're playing a good player and you don't have, you're slightly out of position or you have to move into a riskier position to do something, you're forced. If your hand is forced in this tank, the armor just disappears against anyone who knows what they're doing or anyone with really high pen guns, right? So, and there's a lot of high pen guns at tier 10, obviously. So, I'm really split with the 279. I don't know if it would be an A tier tank or a B tier tank. Um, I'll put it in B tier because I just don't think it does what these tanks can do. Sorry if you're a 279 lover or you're always outraged by the 279. I'm putting it in B tier. I think the comment section will be interesting. Hopefully, don't eat my head off, okay, guys? We can have a civil discussion afterwards. And I'm very welcome to feedback and suggestions and hearing your guys' opinions on where these tanks should be. But this is just my list, okay? It's just my list. What do we have left? Wow, this is long. There's a lot of tier 10s. ST2, solid tank. Um, Not doesn't really have any hull armor at tier 10. Gun is kind of derpy, but it gets the job done. We'll just put it at B tier. It's probably like a C tier tank, but we'll put it in B tier because it's a decent heavy. Um, just kind of awkward with the guns and kind of clunky, and anyone who has good pen and knows how to aim will just completely farm you. For me, it's not in the same league as these other tanks in B tier, so maybe I'll put it at the top of C tier. That's personal. That's personal though. I just don't see the point of the ST2. I never liked the double barrel guns. Um, but yeah, it's just, the fact that the can opener can just do a shot instantly and this thing has to kind of pre-aim it awkwardly. I'm putting this thing in C tier. And for me personally, it's just not that good. It works out. I can play it fine. I get good results in it, but I just don't like it. And I don't think it's that competitive. IS-7 is definitely an A tier tank still. The speed, the armor, the gun is troll, but the tank is just ridiculous. I mean, people always complain about the IS-7 being underpowered. I think the IS-7 is excellent, guys. For me, it's an A tier tank. The IS-7 it's just super solid, tons of HP. I mean, you're running around with 2800 HP at 60 something kilometers an hour. Um, and the gun isn't that good, but it doesn't matter when you're trading like the IS-7 can trade, and when you can be as obnoxious as the IS-7 can be. So yeah, IS-7 for me is A tier. This tank has always been great. Yeah, very good tank. Yeah, no need to talk about the Object 261. T62 is a D tier tank. I think it's actually better than the 222 because the gun is better. So believe it or not, I'm putting it there. Um, yep, that's where it's going. Object 268 is probably a C tier tank destroyer. Good gun. Actually had my first 10k game ever in the 268. So for me, the 268 will always be S tier, but it's just not. It's a decent tank. It's fine. C tier is like playable. C tier is like yeah, I can play it and I can do fine in it. I'm just not expecting to win all my games or farm an insane amount of damage. So yeah, you have to really work when you're playing C tier tanks. You have to be thinking a lot. Um, so there you go. IS-4 is probably an A tier tank. I'm gonna put in B tier because it's not as flexible as these other tanks. Can't farm as much. But the IS-4 is excellent, guys. The IS-4 is super super strong. Really good armor. The angles, you can just angle this thing at like 45 degrees to someone and they just bounce off your side. It's amazing. If you know how to pen it, you'll be hitting lower plate, you'll be hitting the cheek. But the turret got buffed, so you can no longer overmatch this top bit here. And it's super super strong. The gun is derpy, but what's holding it back is the derpy gun, the low DPM, the really low amount of shells. You only get 30 shells in this thing for some reason. Wargaming, please give it the bat chat buff, give it more shells. But the armor is excellent, and it's so much fun. This thing is so much more fun than the 279, guys. Yeah, get the IS-4, guys. The IS-4 eclipses all these, in terms of its armor and trollage, but we'll have to put it here because it's slow and it can't farm as much as the other ones. 907. Honestly, 907 is just a B tier tank now. Again, not in no particular order. Just it's it's fine. It's fine. It's just not what it used to be. It can still have a place in Clan Wars, but you won't even take that many anymore. Good DPM, but the low alpha. Low alpha is just not it, guys. Low alpha is not what you need in WoT in 2025. I'm sorry, it's just not it. The whole top of this is overmatchable. You have the Cupola. The armor just isn't as troll. Tanks have gotten a lot better. This thing has just been power crept. Simple as that. It's been power crept. Still a really iconic tank. I has a very, very special place in my heart, but it's just a B tier tank. It's fine. You take it out, you can play it fine. It's got that kind of status, and you'll still see 907s with high numbers, but that's just because the players playing it are good. But honestly, if you're not a good player, you get a 907 from Clan Wars, you're not going to do well in it, guys. It's not like a crazy super tank. You know, 140, same as 907. It's not as good as the 907 because of the armor. Better gun depression, maybe a better gun, but the 140 has also been eclipsed. It's probably a C tier tank now, to be honest with you, but we'll put it in B tier just because you can still hang in there, and you can still farm in it. It's still decent, but it's not what it used to be. The Russian 320 mediums have not aged as well. The 121B is much better than these tanks now. Much more consistent gun, better alpha, more HP. These tanks are just superior. 2685. This tank is not good at all, guys. This is like the C tier tank that has a turret. Okay. Gun is really derpy, but the alpha and the heat pen is very good, and it has a turret, so we'll put it above some of these vehicles. But it's not a good vehicle. Don't spend 25 million, 30 million, 50 million credits on it, or 50,000 gold when it goes on auction. It's not worth it, guys. This tank is just a resource sink. It's quite pointless. No armor, derpy gun. 780. I really like the 780. 780 is A tier for me. Maybe it's a B tier tank. I really like the 780, guys. Really good alpha, really nice gun. Troll kind of, you can get penned in the side very easily, kind of in these cheeks, but you bounce some shots. You have a little cupola. I think it's very good. It's probably like next to the IS-4. I don't think it does what these tanks do in terms of like the raw kind of speed that these tanks have. I think the speed gives them an advantage. But for some people, this tank is A tier. I'll put it in B tier next to the IS-4. Very good tank, guys. 780 is very good. 425K is not the 780, guys. This tank was a trap, huge lower plate, really easy to farm. It's probably like a C tier. It's got much better. I don't know if it's a C tier. It's probably a C tier tank. This tank is not amazing. Is it more meta than something like a 140? In a way, yes, because it has alpha. But I just don't think the 452K is good. This is the Object 452K, by the way. Uh, Not very good in my opinion. It's okay. It's just okay. But it's a derpy gun and not a great profile. Very easy to farm. Same kind of weak spot as the 780 on the side cheeks. But the lower plate is so much bigger, way less troll. I wouldn't bother with the 452K. SD62, I've heard decent things. I'm gonna pop it in B tier. It's probably more meta than the 90 and the 140 now because of the clip potential. It's an auto reloading Russian medium. It's fine. So yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. We have some light tanks, the copy tanks, and the already in F tier. Tanks that are just overrated or just not good, guys. And these tanks just can't put up the numbers essentially. Um, they just can't compete in games. Obviously, you can have your funny games with these. You can still do well with the Wheezy or the Ship Barn, or even the MX30B or the Tessac, but these tanks aren't it. These tanks are just very mediocre, extremely mediocre now. Been powercraft like the 113. And some of these for you might be higher, but I just don't think these tanks are very good. These tanks are all competitive and can all do really well at what they do, right? You can have great games in all of these. You can have consistently good games in all of these, essentially. And obviously, things like the 279 still have incredibly high 3 mark recs, but it's just, guys, this thing is overrated. I don't understand the 279 hype. I understand it's troll, but well, we'll do a separate video on the 279, okay? But some of these tanks are excellent, 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 excellent. Some of them are just shadows of their former selves. But all of them can give you really, really good games. Okay, I'll leave it at that. A tier is just consistency, excellent vehicles. Some of them are a lot harder to play, right? For some people, the 50B would be low. For some people, the mouse is low. The i7 might be lower than the DB7, right? But these tanks can give you very consistent games. They're very strong tanks. You should be putting up high numbers. And then these tanks are just, maybe the Leo is my personal favorite. Maybe the Leo is A tier, but I'm putting it in S tier because the Leo is so good. It's so good. And these tanks are just amazing at what they do. They just excel, right? This is the biggest bully of a tier 10 heavy, 350 heat pen. These two light tanks are ridiculous. The Leo is probably your most consistent medium tank in the game. The 260 is just the kind of undisputed king of heavies, right? This thing's recs are insane. This thing is just a pup stomper. It's so fast. It's got such a good gun. It's got relatively good armor. 260 is ridiculous. So yeah, this is my take on it. Obviously, things like the MBTB, I wouldn't know where to put. I haven't played it. And I think there's a couple. There's like the BZ72-1 or something. I don't know. There's a couple tanks missing here, but if you won't put them in the comments, I can give them a rating after. But yeah, that's my rating. So there you are. Sorry, yeah, it doesn't really fit on one screen. But yeah, thanks for staying with me for this tier ranking.